Hello children, today we'll continue chapter 4 respiration, and today I am going to teach you types of respiration. So there are two types of respiration, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration is also known as cellular respiration. So first I am going to explain you aerobic respiration or cellular respiration. Now what is aerobic respiration? It's very simple. Respiration which takes place in presence of oxygen is called aerobic respiration. The oxygen which enters the lungs and then the cells of the body is used for oxidation of glucose. In this process, food is completely oxidized to form carbon dioxide and water, plus huge amount of energy is released here. Since this takes place in presence of air or oxygen, so it is called aerobic respiration. Is it clear? Now, the second one is anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration, from its name it is clear that it takes place in absence of oxygen. In certain microorganisms like fungi, yeast and bacteria, glucose is partially oxidized into lactic acid or ethyl alcohol. So two steps are there. The first one which occurs in microorganisms like yeast and few species of bacteria. Here that glucose is partially oxidized into ethyl alcohol, that is C2H5OH. Carbon dioxide and very less amount of energy is released here. This process is also known as fermentation. And the second one is which occurs in human muscle cells. Here lactic acid is formed, and due to accumulation of lactic acid are muscle cramps. Clear? Since this occurs in absence of oxygen or in lack of oxygen, this is called anaerobic respiration. Is it clear? Now, differences between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. So from this aerobic and anaerobic respiration, you all have understood. So now you can write on your own what are the differences between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. So we'll go one by one. Point number 1, aerobic respiration. It is the process of breakdown of glucose in the presence of oxygen. Anaerobic respiration, in absence of oxygen. Breakdown of glucose in the absence of oxygen. Number 2, here glucose is completely oxidized, and in anaerobic respiration, glucose is incompletely oxidized. Point number 3, the end products of aerobic respiration are carbon dioxide, water and energy. Point number 3 of anaerobic respiration, the end products are carbon dioxide, ethyl alcohol and energy in case of yeast or bacteria. Point number 4, energy released is more, that is 38 molecules of energy are released here in aerobic respiration, and in anaerobic respiration energy released is very less, that is 2 ATP molecules. And the last one is aerobic respiration takes place in all higher organisms and anaerobic respiration takes place in lower organisms like yeast. Is it clear? All 5 points are clear to you? Next is differences between photosynthesis and respiration. Children, you know what is photosynthesis and what is respiration. So you can write the differences between photosynthesis and respiration. This is also very simple. Point number 1 of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis takes place only in green plants, not in animals. You all know that. But respiration takes place in all living organisms. Point number 2. The seat of photosynthesis is chloroplast and seat of respiration is mitochondria. Chloroplast is a cell organelle which is present only in plant cells, and mitochondria is a cell organelle which is present in both cells, plant and animal cells. Point number 3 of photosynthesis, it occurs only during the daytime. Why? Because photosynthesis takes place in presence of sunlight, but respiration occurs throughout day and night. Now point number 4, synthesis of sugar takes place and oxygen is given out. And in respiration, breakdown of sugar takes place and carbon dioxide is given out. So these are some important differences between photosynthesis and respiration. Children, now look at the board. Children, there are three pathways of respiration. Number 1, aerobic respiration. Number 2, anaerobic respiration in yeast. And number 3, anaerobic respiration in human cells. I will explain you one by one what happens in all these three pathways. First, aerobic respiration. Here, glucose, it is a 6-carbon molecule compound, is broken down into pyruvate, that is a 3-carbon molecule compound. This steps takes place in presence of enzyme, that is why it is called enzyme controlled state, and this takes place in the cytoplasm of the cell. Now pyruvate is converted into carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. The second step takes place in mitochondria of the cell, and both the steps are enzyme controlled steps. Clear, children? So what is aerobic respiration? What is the pathway of aerobic respiration? It's very simple. Here glucose is converted into pyruvate, that is 3-carbon molecule compound, and end products are carbon dioxide, water and energy. And in this step, huge amount of energy, that is 38 molecules of energy are released. Clear? Now the second one, anaerobic respiration in yeast. What happens here? Glucose, it is a 6-carbon molecule compound, is converted into pyruvate. It is a 3-carbon molecule compound. This step occurs in the cytoplasm of the cell in presence of enzyme. Clear? Now pyruvate is converted into ethanol, that is C2H5OH, or it is also called ethyl alcohol. And ethyl alcohol is a 2-carbon molecule compound, means 2 molecules of carbon are present here, and very less amount of energy is released. Is it clear? And both these steps are enzyme controlled steps, and both these steps take place in the cytoplasm of the cell, not in mitochondria. Why? Because yeast is a very small organism, a small microorganism, where mitochondria is not present in the cell of the yeast. Clear? Now the third pathway of anaerobic respiration is in human muscle cells. Here glucose, that is 6-carbon molecule compound, is converted into pyruvate, and pyruvate is converted into lactic acid, and very less amount of energy is released. Lactic acid is a 3-carbon molecule compound. Clear? And both these steps occur in the cytoplasm of the cell. And we know that in all these three pathways, what happens? Glucose, that is 6-carbon molecule compounds, first converted into pyruvate, that is 3-carbon molecule compound. But end products are different. In first, end products are carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. In second, end products are ethanol plus energy. And in third, lactic acid plus energy. But in both these cases, both these pathways, very less amount of energy are released. Okay, children, I think you all have understood. Now, we will continue in next class. I will give you few assignment questions that you will write in your notebook. Till then, goodbye.